Yeah, thank you.
Questions for Tristan?
The overriding topic of the day, to take a genius to figure out that the Cavs are moving on this year without arguably the best player in the game, he having decided to work elsewhere. But I shouldn't say this is universally true, but I get the sense that a lot of the basketball world is writing off the Cavs. And I'm just curious if you've sensed that as well, and if you had, what's your reaction to that?
I think they've been writing us off probably since we all came together in 2014. I think they wrote us off against Chicago when Kev got hurt. I think they wrote us off against Atlanta when Kyrie was hurt and Kev was out. I think they wrote us off again. I mean, we did lose that series, but we won 2 games against Golden State the first year. The second year, it was 2-2 versus the Raptors. They thought that the Raptors got momentum. Now going to last year with no Kyrie, with the team that we had against Boston, they definitely wrote us off again. So we're used to that. I think me, Kev, JR, we've been through this this whole journey together, and I think you guys enjoy writing us off, and I think we take the challenge. And I think T. Lue definitely takes the challenge, and our front office takes the challenge, our ownership takes the challenge to prove people wrong. And I think that's what makes this organization special, and that's what builds a culture. Always being ready to stand up and fight. And it kind of represents the city of Cleveland. Always underdogs, always being written off, but always proving people wrong. So they've been writing us off for a while, and we keep just making special magic.
Marla Ridenour, Akron Beacon Journal. There's a whole lot of uncertainty about who's even going to be in the lineup besides Kevin. I mean, how are you taking this challenge?
Come in ready. Come into training camp and bust your tail and be competitive. At the end of the day, everything should be earned on this team. That's how you build the culture. That's how you build stability, is by guys earning their keeps. So, whoever's coming in training camp ready to play should play. And, for me, it's just, do what I have to do and be myself.
Coach Lou mentioned earlier that there's going to be like teaching every day. I would assume that's going to be somewhat different from you guys. Are you anxious to see that teaching side of Ty?
Of course, but we know T. Lue is definitely capable of doing that. Of course, there's going to be more teaching this year just because of the group that we have. Obviously, myself, JR, Kev, Channing, Kyle, those guys definitely know, what Coach wants, what Coach Lou wants offensively, and what Coach Longo wants defensively. Those guys are familiar, but we got 7 or 8 other guys that are kind of, new to this. Obviously, Jetty and Big Z had 1 year, but, for them to get another season of learning from T. Lue and learning what he expects, I think is great, and that's what's expected for him to, do a little bit more teaching now, because we have these young guys, and teach them what it takes to be a pro and be successful in this league.
Tristan Scott, Sergeant WFNY. You went the first 7 years without missing a beat in terms of health-related issues, and last year was clearly a little frustrating for you.
Yeah.
Where are you now personally in terms of putting that behind you, and how are you health-wise heading into this season?
Yeah, like you hit overhead, it was definitely the first time in 7 years dealing with, injuries and missing multiple games. For me, I feel great. Took a lot of pride in making sure my body's at tip-top shape and feeling good. And just, I'm excited about this year. But like you said, it's definitely difficult missing that many games. But that's also, there's probably some games or times during the first 7 years where I should have sat out and missed some games. I remember when we'd have a back-to-back and, 4 of the stars would sit out and I'll be the only one playing just to keep the streak alive. So at the end of the day, it's part of the ups and downs in the journey, and it's all about this year being ready to play and being there for my team.
Tristan, PJ Ziegler, Fox 8. With this new style of offense you guys are going to run this year, how do you envision this team will look, and how does that suit your game?
Well, the way the NBA is going and the way that T. Lue wants to play, we want to play fast. We want to play fast, get up and down. We have the athletes. We got, 2 dynamic guards that, both are point guards, and can get up and down and push the tempo, and that's what we want to play. For me, it's definitely beneficial just because my strength is getting up and down the floor, using my athleticism, using my quickness. So, I'm glad we're going to play that style of game, and that's kind of the way the game is going. Not many teams are playing in the half court, and if they are, it's with a low shot clock. So for us to get up and down is perfect, play in the high hundreds, and put that ball in the hoop.
ESPN Cleveland. Tristan, with more younger guys on the team than what you've had in the past, how does your role change in the locker room from a mentor standpoint this season?
For me, my approach is I'm actually the only in-between guy. Not all the way like the vets at like 10-plus year, but not under 5 years. So I'm right at year 7 so basically year 8. So I can understand both sides. In terms of the vets, I've had a lot of success with the vets. We've been together. We've been through tough times. I know what to expect from them. They know what to expect from me. For the young guys, I just got to be able to help lead them and kind of just be able to be that voice. Sometimes, for younger players, it's kind of tough for them to understand the older guys. Older guys, a little tougher to understand the younger guys just because of the times are different. Life is different for both. So for me to be able just on that borderline to kind of relate with both would definitely be huge. I think it's definitely my role in the locker room to make that transition easier for, Colin and Jetty and Big Z, for those young guys to just come along. So I'm excited.
Cami Justice, WZIP. You've been on the team for a while, obviously. We've got some new pieces and some young guys. We talked a lot about camaraderie. Have you felt there was a moment that's given you some confidence in the season to come up, that there's been some evidence that the team's going to click together?
Yeah, I think what we were able to do in Miami, have guys come together, and last week guys coming in town early, playing together, getting to know each other is definitely huge. And like I said, I think what helps the team mesh and the camaraderie help is when you have multiple players that have been around each other for X amount of years, and the young guys and new guys can see that, and then hopefully they're just sponges and want to just be a part of that and join that. So that's going to be the key right there.
Tristan, Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com, standing in front of you.
Yeah. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, T? How did you process LeBron's decision?
At the end of the day, I was happy for him. As soon as he made the decision, I texted him. At the end of the day, it's me and LeBron's relationship is bigger than basketball. It always has been, always will be. So at the end of the day, he did the best decision for what he felt for him and his family, and I definitely support him. We'll definitely be watching Lakers games. So, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for those young guys to have an opportunity that I had. I'm happy for the Kuzma, the Lonzo, and Ingram. I'm happy for those guys to experience what I experienced, what me, Kyrie experienced, and Kev experienced of being around LeBron, being young guys that never had success in the league, just maybe personal success, but never had team success. I'm happy for those guys that they can experience that. And, I've seen a couple of them. I've told them absorb it, be a sponge. It's not going to be easy, but it's everything he does is going to be beneficial for you in your career. So just absorb the whole moment.
And if we go back to when you first came in the NBA with Kyrie, this organization was in a post-LeBron era trying to figure out its direction. It was about some other things other than winning at that time.
Yeah.
How will it help a guy like Colin Sexton being in an environment this time where it's about winning, it's about chasing a playoff spot, it's about...
Yeah, I think, like you said, my first year, when me and Kyrie first came to the team, if you looked at the roster, it was kind of guys that were, borderline still pros. And the team was kind of just in the rebuilding stage with, starting off with me and Kyrie. And then having Andy as our leader or Anthony Parker as our leader to kind of just show us, or Antoine Jameson to show us what it takes to be pros, and then let them off and let those guys go and retire. So now it's different. We still have guys that are still playing at a high level, better players overall. And this is a team that wants to be competitive and want to fight for a playoff spot. So for Collins, a little different. He's going to have more help compared to what me and Kyrie had. And for us, it's really on, myself, Kev, JR, and G Hill, and Kyle to come out and be productive. I think if we play at a high level, we'll take some of the pressure or the stress off Colin, and that's what we want.
Tristan, Spencer Davies, Basketball Insiders here in the middle. You've known Kevin for a while, and he's definitely grown as a person. He's championing.
You trying to grow his beard out like him? I see you trying to grow your beard out like him.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Championing that mental health awareness effort here over the summer. How have you seen him grown, not only as a leader on the court, but just off the court as well, and how does that translate both ways?
Yeah, no, he's grown so much since I first met Kev till now. he's taken so much steps forward in terms of just being, more in the forefront. When he first joined our team, he was more the guy that would kind of stay quiet and kind of more reserved. But now, last couple of years, he's kind of found himself in terms of just being able to speak up, voice his ideas, be more at the forefront. And what he's able to do with the mental health is huge for him to, take a stand and really open up about that because, we all go through things in life, and it's tough. It's tough. People just think we just dribble the ball and put our socks on and just go hoop. But, we have real life issues just like any one of you guys here. We all have that, and it gets tough. So for him to be able to, take the lead in charge and do that, it says a lot about his character, and it shows you his growth as a human. Because if you ask Kevin if he would come out and say that 4 years ago, there's no way in hell he would come out and say those kind of things. But he's grown so much as a man that he's able to just stand in front and say, "Hey, this is what's going on, and this is the reality."
Thanks, Tristan. Thanks,
Yep.
everybody. We'll have Jetty up here in a minute.
Jetty.